From Anshe Sfard Beth El Emeth Congregation, it's time to take 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Chanukah. What sort of obligation is the obligation of the lighting of the candles? What do I mean? In the analyses of what Chanukah and the Chanukah lighting is all about, there are two approaches that have been taken. One is that it's a chiyuv bayis. It's an obligation on the home. Second is that it's an obligation, it's a personal obligation like any other mitzvah. What do we mean by that? When it comes to a shofar, I have a personal obligation to make sure I hear that shofar. I have a personal obligation to make sure I hear the Megillah. I have a personal obligation to make sure that I shake the lulav. But when it comes to the mitzvah of Chanukah and lighting the candles, the question is, do I have a personal obligation? Or is it an obligation simply on my entire household? Why would we think that Chanukah is different? Well, firstly, there's a relationship between Chanukah and mezuzah. We know when it comes to mezuzah, it's not my personal obligation. If someone put a mezuzah up there before I got there, I don't have to personally put one up. It's just an obligation on the home. Everyone in the house doesn't have to put up a mezuzah, just the owner of the house that puts up a mezuzah, and that's it. And similarly with Chanukah, we put the Chanukah candles across from the mezuzah as if there's one place in the house for it. And as the Gemara says, Ner ish ubeito, the basic obligation is a man and his home. One candle is presumably for the entire home. However, one might argue that it's a personal obligation. After all, a person's obligated to light candles. After all, we say lahadlik ner shel Chanukah, we have an obligation to light the candles. Now, how does this play out? What difference does it make whether it's an obligation of a home or a personal obligation? Well, let's say you're visiting someone else's home. There's no one back at home, back at the ranch, lighting for you. Your wife or husband is not back at home lighting for you. Perhaps you don't have a home altogether. You're visiting with someone staying over at their house. So the Talmud says, if you're achsana, if you're a guest in someone's home, mishtateh v'pruta. What you do is you chip in, pay a few cents, 25 cents or what, and then you are considered to be connected to their home. Now, had it been a personal obligation, then I would have suggested, and many rabbis and later authorities say, that no, why, if you have enough candles and if it's not a big deal, then why don't you just take another Chanukah and light yourself and make your own blessings? But the Talmud didn't say that. It says that you should join in with the person of the house, as if that you have no way of linking to this home unless you chip into their obligation. It's a home obligation, and you just have to connect to it. But the truth is that you have no ability to light in someone else's home. It's an obligation on the home and not your personal obligation. For instance, if a man is away from his house, so the Gemara says, since his rabbi's wife was back at home lighting for him, so he didn't have to light. Wherever he was, he didn't have to light. Maybe he could say a blessing, the second blessing over someone else's candles, but why should he light? They're lighting for him in his house. Now, if we said this was a personal obligation, then he should try to beat his wife to it. He should light the candles first before she lights the candles so that he could fulfill the obligation personally. But no, Talmud seems to say, since everything's okay back at the ranch, his wife is lighting for him there, therefore he need not light. His home is taken care of. There's no personal obligation. Rabbi Soloveitchik has argued this some years one way, and sometimes I've heard it in his name in the other direction as well, as you can see in the book Harei Kedem, that it is a personal obligation. Then we could attribute this debate to many different things. What do you mean that everyone's very fastidious and we light lots of candles, not just one candle a night, but we light many candles? Is it that we are trying to go out there and do the best that we can as a personal obligation? Or no, we're trying to beautify the mitzvot. Mihadrin means not that I'm running after the mitzvahs, but it means we want to beautify the mitzvah. It's the mitzvah that's important. There is something called the mitzvah of a candle in its house. And it's not my personal obligation to beautify the mitzvah, but it's a mitzvah for the object to be beautified. Is it on the object, the person, or on the object? You might argue there are two different reasons why we go up in the candles. We ascend in order. First 1, the next night 2, and 3, and so on, until 8. Why? Is it because that's how many days there are? It's not a matter of what I'm doing. It's just that's how many days there are. Or no. As a person, Ma'alin ba'kodesh ve'im moridin, I should personally do more each night, because it's a personal obligation. How do we light these candles for all these different nights? Should a master of the house light them for everyone because there's only one obligation for the house, one blessing per house, as the Rambam says? Or should we do it the Ashkenazic way, where each person, the father and perhaps the mother, according to Rabbi Salvation, according to some, the different children, each one should have their own candle and make their own blessing, because it's a personal obligation on everyone in the house. Or no, it's an obligation, like the Rambam says, one person for the whole house. He lights all the Chanukahs, all the candles for all the people in the house for every night that it is. I'd like to suggest that what's behind this whole question, is it a personal obligation? Is it a house obligation? Who cares? Or what's the idea here? Perhaps it relates to the two fundamental ideas of Chanukah. Hallel, Thanksgiving, and Hoda'ah, also Thanksgiving. What's the difference between Hallel and Hoda'ah? Hallel, we know from the Psalms of Hallel. Hallel is reactive, interactive. You say Hodu Hashem, the Chazan says that, we respond Hodu Hashem. The Chazan says Yomer Na Yisrael, the Chazan says Hoshia An Hashem Hoshiana, we respond Hodu Hashem An Hashem Hoshiana. Hallel, the Psalms of Thanksgiving, are interactive. If it's interactive, if it's a communal experience, then it must be done by the whole house. I light them, my family sees it, there's an interaction in the home. Or is it Hoda'ah, Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving, Modim, we say Modim every day in the Shemona Esrei. We need not have anyone else responding to our thanks to God. Thanks can be personal and individual. And therefore, the question is Chanukah candles connected to the Hallel, interactive, it's a family experience, it's a house experience? Or is lighting Chanukah candles connected to the Hoda'ah, a simple Thanksgiving where the interaction is not necessary? Each person has his personal, separate obligation. If he's Robinson Crusoe on an island and his wife is back at home, if it's Hallel, there's no one for him to interact with. Let his wife light them at home with the family, and he doesn't have to worry about it. But if it's a personal Hoda'ah, then Robinson Crusoe on his island, he's got to do something about it. He must give thanks. On Chanukah, we're challenged in both directions. We're challenged as individuals. Can we light up our souls and light up our Judaism, get more enthusiasm? And we're challenged as a community and as a family, as a home. How does the home, how's the fire burning in the home? Can we stir up the coals of the family fire a little bit more? And what about our community? Can we stir up our community a little bit more? As we each have our hopes and our prayers and our thoughts with the people of the northern Israel, let us hope that we can rededicate ourselves even more to not, God forbid, the flames of destruction, but hopefully the fire of Torah, and the fire of Torah will burn even more brightly throughout our homes. Thank you for joining here at the Anshe Sefard Beth El Emet Congregation for our discussion of Chanukah, and join us each week for further discussions. Thank you, Jason Lefkowitz, for making today's presentation possible. Thank you.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.